Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives For You channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. In a bombshell twist that no Sister Wives fan could have scripted better, the tables have finally turned, and in the most ironic and poetic way possible, as Kody Brown and his once beloved favorite wife, Robyn, have reportedly been tricked into seeking asylum from none other than Janelle Brown, after allegedly facing financial ruin and teetering on the brink of bankruptcy. It's the kind of karmic payback that viewers have waited seasons to witness, and according to insiders, it's even messier than anyone could have imagined. After years of flaunting their superior marriage, cozy home, and Kody's undivided attention, while Christine, Janelle, and Mary were pushed out and left to pick up the emotional and financial pieces, Kody and Robyn's golden tower has collapsed spectacularly. Behind the scenes, things reportedly began spiraling after Kody's controversial real estate decisions backfired. Their dream home in Flagstaff, bought with the help of Robyn's good credit and Kody's delusional optimism, became a financial sinkhole. Reports suggest the couple was secretly juggling multiple mortgages, struggling with unpaid taxes, and reportedly maxed out credit lines tied to Robyn's online boutique, which quietly went under after months of radio silence. While Kody refused to believe the empire he built was crumbling, Robyn allegedly began to panic, especially after they received a formal bankruptcy warning letter from a collections agency, threatening to repossess personal property and force a sale of their Coyote Pass stake, which is still tied up in unresolved legal battles with Mary and Janelle. But what's even more shocking is how they ended up turning to the very woman Kody emotionally abandoned, Janelle Brown, the independent, RV-living, straight-talking ex-wife who walked away from the chaos with nothing but her freedom and a deep sense of self-worth. According to sources close to the family, it was all part of a subtle but brilliant trap. Janelle, having recently reconnected with extended Brown relatives and quietly launched a detox business that's actually thriving, was allegedly approached by a third party posing as a family friend who encouraged Kody and Robyn to reconnect and stay close in case of emergencies. Feeling isolated and desperate, the couple reached out under the pretense of rebuilding family ties, but in reality, they were laying the groundwork to ask for help. Janelle, ever the composed strategist, saw it coming from a mile away, but instead of rejecting them outright, she decided to play the long game. She welcomed the idea of a reunion, encouraged Kody to visit with the kids, even invited Robyn over for tea, knowing full well they were circling like vultures. Then, when the financial collapse hit critical mass, when their power was allegedly shut off for 48 hours and a repossession notice was taped to their door, Kody finally made the humiliating call. He asked Janelle if they could stay with her temporarily.
And she said yes.
But not out of kindness, out of pure, poetic payback. Insiders say Janelle offered them temporary asylum under very specific conditions. They'd stay in her guest cabin, they'd pay her a monthly maintenance fee, and perhaps most humiliating of all, they'd have to adhere to her rules. No yelling, no blaming, no Robyn-style crying tantrums, and absolutely no talk of being the victims. For the first time, Robyn and Kody were no longer the center of attention. They were guests in the home of the woman they once underestimated. The shift in power was undeniable. Kody, used to barking orders and emotionally manipulating situations to suit him, was reportedly stunned when Janelle set firm boundaries. "You're here because you have no other option," she allegedly told him flatly during their first breakfast. Don't forget that. Robyn, for her part, was said to be a shell of her former self, tired, anxious, and unusually quiet, knowing full well she was now sleeping in the guest wing of the woman she once helped drive out of the marriage. And the fans? They're living for it. Online forums exploded with speculation and celebration. "Janelle the Queen," one fan wrote. "She's feeding them crumbs from her table, and they're lucky to get that." Another chimed in, "Kody's ego is in the garbage and Robyn's tears can't pay the bills." But beyond the schadenfreude, there's a deeper story brewing. Kody, now facing what he once never imagined, total financial collapse and social isolation, is reportedly starting to crack. No longer able to play the charming patriarch or pretend his family is united, he's allegedly begun lashing out again, blaming the economy, Christine, and even Robyn for putting them in this mess. Robyn, meanwhile, is reportedly reaching out to distant relatives and even TLC producers, hoping to pitch a redemption storyline that would allow her and Kody to rebuild from rock bottom. But the irony is brutal, because the only person who seems to have truly rebuilt anything is Janelle. From being overlooked, dismissed, and used as the family's workhorse, she's now a woman in control. She owns her land. She runs her own health business, and she's the one Kody and Robyn now depend on for shelter. Some insiders say she's already crafting her memoir, with chapter titles like Asylum at My Cabin and How I Became the One Who Had It All. Even her kids are thriving. Hunter just landed a government job, Gabriel's returned to college, and Savannah is reportedly working on a podcast about surviving toxic family dynamics. As for the future, Kody and Robyn may be stuck in Janelle's shadow for a while. TLC cameras are reportedly circling like vultures, hoping to capture every humiliating moment of their downfall, and Janelle isn't stopping them. "Let the world see," she allegedly told a producer. "This is what happens when you choose favorites and burn every bridge." And fans couldn't agree more. After nearly 2 decades of watching Kody chase after one woman while emotionally destroying the others, the roles have flipped, and Kody now finds himself begging for scraps from the wife he once overlooked. Sister Wives Season 20 isn't just about healing, it's about reckoning. And this time, the ones Kody once treated as disposable have become the ones holding all the power. "Let the new era begin," ChatGPT said. But the story doesn't stop with Kody and Robyn humbling themselves at Janelle's door, because once the couple moved into her guest house, the true emotional chaos began to unfold in real time. According to insiders close to the family, it became immediately clear that Kody was not handling the fall from grace well at all. The man who once strutted around Flagstaff boasting about being the head of a plural family, who once said on camera that he felt like the king of his kingdom, was now reduced to shuffling around Janelle's modest guest house in borrowed sweatpants and arguing over who used up all the hot water. Witnesses say he has become irritable, moody, and at times downright delusional, telling neighbors that his current situation is temporary and that he's just regrouping before launching a new business venture. But those close to Janelle say she isn't buying it for a second, and she's letting Kody know that he doesn't get to rewrite this narrative. According to one source, Janelle's been keeping a quiet journal of Kody and Robyn's behavior, which she allegedly plans to publish or leak once the dust settles. She wants people to see the real them, the source said. Not the version TLC helped protect for years. And speaking of TLC, the network itself has reportedly swooped in to document the disaster. Producers have allegedly fast-tracked filming for Season 20 with a new focus: Kody and Robyn's downfall. Cameras are reportedly already rolling on what crew members are calling the most raw and unfiltered season yet, with Kody finally being seen without his infamous bravado and Robyn visibly unraveling under the stress of losing everything she fought so hard to control. Sources say Janelle isn't just participating, she's producing. With her newfound independence, she's allegedly negotiated partial creative control over her segments and has even pitched a spin-off focused on reclaiming your life after spiritual abuse. But perhaps the most satisfying part for viewers is the subtle but undeniable power shift happening within the Brown family structure. With Christine thriving in Utah alongside David Woolley and her growing brand of cookbooks and family-friendly content, and Mary finally moving on romantically and professionally with her and rumored new partner, it's Janelle who now stands as the unexpected matriarch of the Browns. And Kody? He's become a cautionary tale. Rumors are swirling that many of his adult children are refusing to speak with him, particularly Gwendolyn, Gabe, and Peyton, who've all expressed disdain for the way Kody handled the family split. Even Dayton, Robyn's son, whom Kody once adopted and called his own, is reportedly spending more time away from the Flagstaff house than in it. Meanwhile, Robyn, who once clung to her image as the quiet, tearful peacemaker, is finally being seen through a new lens, not as a victim, but as an active participant in the manipulation and alienation that tore the Brown family apart. Viewers and family members alike are no longer buying the tears. She cried all the way to the bank, one fan wrote online. And now she's crying because the bank is empty. There's even been talk that Robyn's finances were far more entangled with Kody's than she let on, and that she may have borrowed against family assets without informing the other wives. If true, that could open a whole new legal chapter that Janelle and Christine have been quietly preparing for. Insiders say that Janelle, who now has a strong legal team and business advisors, has no intention of letting Kody or Robyn manipulate their way back into control of the Coyote Pass land or any joint assets. In fact, it's been rumored that she offered them asylum strategically to gather information, establish financial dependency, and make them easier to challenge in court if necessary. She's playing chess and Kody's still playing checkers, one insider said. He thinks she's giving him grace, but really she's documenting everything. And fans are loving every second. Social media is ablaze with memes, recaps, and speculation. TikTok creators are breaking down Robyn's body language in every recent appearance, pointing out the tension, the anxiety, the regret. On Reddit, threads titled "Karma Came with a Janelle Smile" and "He Wanted Robyn. Now He's Sleeping in Her Spare Room" have gone viral. Viewers are tuning in not just for the drama, but for the long-awaited justice. And justice is exactly what Janelle is serving, calmly, quietly, and without raising her voice. When asked recently on a live stream about her current situation, she smiled and said, "Sometimes life surprises you. And sometimes people surprise themselves when they're forced to start over." That statement, simple as it may seem, said everything. Kody and Robyn are no longer the power couple they imagine themselves to be. They're humbled, exposed, and dependent on the very woman they thought they'd left in the dust.
And Janelle?
She's not just surviving, she's thriving. She's building a life on her terms, with her rules in her home. And if Kody wants to stay, if Robyn wants shelter, if they both want any shred of dignity left, they'll follow her lead. In the end, this isn't just a story about bankruptcy. It's a story about consequence, about ego, about betrayal and rebirth. It's about how the truth always finds a way to surface, and how the people you once underestimated might just become the ones who hold the keys to your survival. For years, Kody believed he was the sun, and everyone else revolved around him.
But now,
the sun has set on his kingdom, and the spotlight belongs to Janelle. After years of smug monologues, spiritual superiority, and weaponized tears, Kody and Robyn Brown's fantasy castle finally came crumbling down, brick by financial brick, in what fans are now calling the greatest karmic twist in Sister Wives history. Gone are the designer handbags, the oversized homes, and the smug glances exchanged over goblets of guilt. In their place, unpaid bills, court summons, maxed-out credit cards, and a humiliating, desperate plea for shelter from the very woman they once dismissed as too independent, Janelle.
Yes.
After years of manipulating the family structure, hoarding Kody's attention, and reportedly draining shared family accounts for her personal security, Robyn has now been tricked, yes, tricked, into seeking refuge from the one wife who outlasted her emotionally, spiritually, and financially. And for once, Janelle didn't just get the moral victory. She got the house, the money, and the upper hand. It all started with whispers. Whispers of financial strain. A few bounce checks, then a lien placed quietly on the infamous Flagstaff mansion Robyn had insisted on purchasing in cash. A luxury home that was supposed to symbolize security, stability, and permanence had become a cold, hollow echo chamber of unpaid utilities and rising property tax. TLC money had dried up post-scandal, speaking gigs were cancelled after Robyn's cheating rumors, and Kody's once booming image as the man of many wives had become a meme-worthy cautionary tale. Robyn, who had long refused to work a traditional job, was suddenly Googling how to sell used costume jewelry on Etsy, while Kody considered taking work as a ranch hand just outside Sedona. Ironic, given how little manual labor he actually ever did. Their adult children, now estranged and thriving on their own, weren't picking up the phone. The couple was drowning, emotionally, spiritually, and especially financially. But that wasn't even the worst part. The real disaster came when a quiet bankruptcy filing was leaked to the public, and fans discovered that Kody and Robyn had allegedly taken out multiple high-interest loans, some in the names of LLCs linked to defunct family ventures like My Sister Wife's Closet, which hadn't produced a sale in years. Creditors were circling. A federal investigation was rumored. And with no more shared family income to hide behind, Robyn and Kody realized they had two options: homelessness or humbling themselves before the very woman they once cast aside, Janelle. Janelle, who had moved into a modest but paid-for home in Utah, was building her wellness brand, writing a best-selling memoir, and quietly becoming one of reality TV's most beloved comeback queens. When Kody called, voice trembling, tone laced with artificial humility, she didn't answer. She let it go to voicemail 3 times. On the 4th attempt, she finally picked up, and the first words out of her mouth were, "Is this a butt dial, or have you finally hit rock bottom?"